that's what you do. You buy these players that cost money and make a difference in it. But we never do that.
Never complains, gets up, gets on, with a smile on his face.
They just want you to sit in your chair and go, hip hip hooray, for the Western press and the Western narrative, regurgitating the same old, every single day, without the sun. If you haven't seen it before, please watch the first season, the first 2 episodes, the second season.
We are on the site of the castle,
and it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
Hello everyone. Listen, I'd said the other night, didn't I? I'm sure of it, that I'd start at 8 tonight because he had to go to the Aussie and that. Then he had to go shopping and, the doctors and being everywhere today. So I was out and about. And I'm sorry, if you've been waiting. You thought it was 7 o'clock. I've just woke up as well. I fell asleep. I was absolutely knackered. Knackered I was, so... And I fell asleep. I'm awfully sorry, if you've been waiting around. Really, I really am. I didn't mean to, because it's 7 o'clock now. You know what I mean? The beginning of the show, but I didn't realise that I was at the Aussie at 4 o'clock. I had to be there. 4 o'clock, and you know what they're like. It was there for ages. So anyway, I'm here tonight to celebrate everybody. But just before I do, we've got the Gap Painting Services who sponsor the Frank Carlyle shows, and the great people. Get them in. Don't, please, whatever you do not struggle like I did, and I'm in this state now, if you know what I mean. So just get them in. They're fully time served, the lads. They're fully insured. They're in and out. They're brilliant, first class painters. They really are. So don't struggle. That's what I keep saying. If you're an NHS worker and you're one of our elderly people, you get special discounts. But if you don't fit into that category, you also get a reasonable price. You really do. It's well affordable, so don't struggle, anybody out there, okay? And that's Gap Painting Services who sponsor the Frank Carlyle show. And these lads, well, boy and a girl it is, I reckon that these are brilliant. These are at Scarf or a Badge, Michael Dean and his lovely wife, Michelle. They make you welcome. You really do. All top quality stuff. I didn't even have time to put anything on tonight because it's the football show, isn't it? It's us, it's Liverpool. And as I said, I came in, sat down, had a cup of tea, and didn't even finish my cup of tea, fell asleep, just woke up. But anyway, that's that Scarf or a Badge. Try and get something before the end of the season off them. And they always open on match days, and you can get them online at scarforabadge.com. Get them. First class stuff. And here I am again. So anyway, Virgil, that was the big talking point, wasn't it? We've had Mo and now Virg, and they're just brilliant. These two lads, these stalwarts, these very experienced players who's back signing. Absolutely brilliant. Made up, absolutely thrilled to bits. But I hope the club doesn't come out and say, like 2 new signings. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that little saying, you know. And I think Callum's been here since early. I'm sorry, Callum. Klopp has accepted to negotiate with Real Madrid. What did I say ages ago? What did I say? Madrid. And the boss says Callum Jürgen is under contract with Red Bull for the foreseeable future. How about being happy that Virgil confirmed best wishes to FC.TV and Co. Oh, that's nice. Thanks, boss. The capo. And despite the infestors, we can share the team confirming our superiority as the best club in the world, most successful in the hardest league and 6 times European champ. Can't get any better than that. You can't get any better than that. Callum says, yes, Franco. No, I wasn't there at 7. Let's see. Let's go right down. Let's hope that on the back here. Yeah, still. There's Barry. Does everyone know that there's another Anfield spelt Anfield, Sterling Albion's Oh, well, that's nice. That's nice, Barry. That's Anfield, the Anfield Roar. Even in a game, you mighty Reds, you never walk alone. Look at all those for me. Although Scotties are for George, who'll be coming on in a minute or two after us do these. Frankie looking very, very youthful. I think the original dark Italian hair is coming through. I said to our Janet once. I said to our Janet once, you know. I said I was looking at I was just looking at the telly, and I said some people use tea bags on their hair, you know, to darken it. And he really thought that I did. Anyway, that's another thing. Paul Bear. Good evening, brother Frank. Hiya, Paul. Oh, good to see you. And the rest. There's Dino. Even if Frank, hope you're well. Not being a bad week for that. First, Mo down, winning Sunday and being in the cusp of the, hashtag 20 and obviously Virgil. Absolutely. I'll see you next Tuesday. Next Tuesday with George. Dino. Nice polo, Frankie, lad. Bit of the Hugo orange. Do you know what? This is white, you know. Maybe you look at it. I don't want to look like Trump, like, but Callum says 4-0. 4-0 Sunday. Let's win this league, yes. And there, I'm my old mate there. Don't be sad, because 2 out of 3 ain't bad, in the words of Meatloaf. I always remember him being you know that stupid, what's his name? Mike Parkinson. I never liked him. And he said to, you know, Meatloaf, he said, what do your dad, what do your kids call you? And he went, Dad. You know, like our Francine today, she went like that. I said to her, I'm buying her a chicken maker. And she said, are you? So you're buying a chicken? And I went, no, a chicken maker. You know, to do like poached eggs and that. That was it, the way she said it. You're buying a chicken. A chicken maker. Darryl says, so Yaris extends, what happens now? Well, Yaris, yeah. And Mama Billy is trying to stay at Valencia for one or more. Yeah. Callum, he can stay there, then sulking because Ali is the best in the world. Yeah, you're right there. And Frog Duo, what's that? Don't know what that is. The Anfield. The renewals give this brand name, board sign. I'm sorry. The renewals. See, I should have brought me reading glasses in. Give this board sign to buy a successor and grow them into the team. It's financially sound business, and those adopted Scousers, Moe and Verge are truly this city's loyal men. Yeah. And special mention for our 97, yes, says Neil Broderick. Yes, absolutely. Callum says, Frog Duo, Frank and George Duo. Oh, okay. And Darryl, the new kits are beautiful. Yeah, that Francine was saying. And after watching Arsenal comfortably beat Real, Trent might be getting more defending than he wants in Spain. And there's all this, and there's our own legend, our own loyalty. This man, all the way from Scotland, came down to Shankly signed him. The Shanks signed him. Think about it. Shankly. And he's loyal. This man is loyal. He's our own legend on this podcast. And it's George. And you know what? Someone said, it's great having George on because he speaks so passionately and eloquently. And he knows his football. So I hope so. He knows his football. But anyway, yes, the great man himself, George. How you doing?
Hi, Frankie. Hiya. Good to see you, Frank. Good to see all the boys and girls on the chat. Great to be here. Great to be back on a lovely day. Fantastic. Feeling great at the moment, mate. Really feeling great. Our 6 points left to get this Premier League on, boy. 6 points. Not long now.
The next game as well is Leicester.
Yeah. I saw a very interesting stat yesterday. Liverpool have scored more points, right? More points this season than Spurs and United combined.
Wow.
Who would have ever thought that? I think we're about 35 points ahead of Everton, 30-odd points ahead of United, and 30-odd points ahead of Spurs. It's amazing.
It is amazing, isn't it, really? But I think the next few games, I think the title should be won. I really do.
If we beat Leicester and beat Spurs, I think, well, it will be one. That's it. Yeah. 6 points.
That's it. That'll be one. And I think, but we've got to play a little bit better than we have been.
Certainly, the second half the other day was very poor.
Very poor. And, the next few games, as you said, Leicester and Spurs, the two very winnable games. And that will be the icing on the cake. It really will. And the big red cherry on the cake.
It'd be lovely to have Arsenal do a guard of honour for Liverpool at Anfield.
It was, wouldn't it?
Cherry on the cake.
Wouldn't it just? Wouldn't it? Arteta, you could imagine him, couldn't you? Standing there, applauding, but not really applauding, if you know what I mean.
Although I have to give Arsenal credit for last night. I thought they played fantastic against Madrid. I thought they played Madrid off the park, actually, which it doesn't do Trent much good. He's going over there. I think somebody said before, I think he might do a bit more defending than he thinks because they're not the team they were at the moment.
Yeah. I wonder if he might have second thoughts.
Oh, I hope so, but I doubt it.
Well, anyway, I'm going to bring in Brian Fennell all the way from Seattle and see what he has to say. Hiya, Brian.
How you doing?
Hi, Brian.
Frank, George, how are you? Yes.
Good, Brian. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. George,
Yeah, you
the
sound
man of the
good from
people.
over there in the United States.
Right. It's actually sunny here now today, so okay.
And here.
What?
It was nice and sunny today. I've been playing golf. Gorgeous.
Oh, okay.
Playing with my grandson. Beautiful.
Oh, nice.
Every day.
How's your foot wedge? How's that working out?
Apart from the fact he beat me.
Oh, okay. Great to see you.
And you. Well, it's great to see a little white blob there.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have your face for radio, so I don't want to,
Well, I've seen you many times. I know what you look like.
Yeah, we know what. Anyway, I'm just going to say to these wonderful lads, Barry Aldridge, a bit muzzy, Frank. Went to Springwood Cemetery to visit my dad's and grandparents' grave. Had lunch at Allerton Hall. Yeah, I've had lunch in there myself with my ex-partner when we went to see Dad's, buried there. And Dino, evening, Mr. Scott, we're almost there.
We are, Dean. Not long now.
And Callum says, Arteta, bitter blue crying. Yes. Evening, George, you legends. Glad you're well, lad. You looks like you've been on the greens today, lad. Like my motto in Magaluf, 18 holes in a day, 18 at night. Lad, so glad you're here.
Oh, you're some man.
Stop all that.
You are some.
I'm gonna have a priest on here, I really am, at the confessional box. And Dino says the performances are secondary for me at this stage. It's all about getting these points now and then dancing in May.
Yeah, that song, we win the championship in May. Lovely.
Yeah, but the thing is, you see, I mentioned this. I don't want to. I'm not interested in other fans, but I don't like their bitterness, and I don't want to fall over. We've been awful. There's no question about that. We've been awful, and we've been lucky in some games and struggled to get these wins. Problem is, I don't want that. I don't want that till the end of the season, because everybody will be saying you're very lucky. But if we went out in the blaze of glory, starting with Leicester, playing great football that we can do. That's
Definitely.
the way I want to win it, not like going through. That's me, though. That's me.
No, you're right, Frank. You're right.
The Anfield Raw says, Brian F, how are you, lad? You're a Seattle sounder.
Seattle sounder? Oh, no.
Seattle scoundrel.
That too, yes. A man of low cunning, yes. All of the above. Sorry, go on, Frank.
Well, anyway, evening, Gianfranco and Jorginho Scottini.
IBR always calls me Jorginho. I hope it's a compliment. I'm sure it is.
Of course it is. But listen, lads, getting back to the game, this coming weekend, and the Leicester game, it's just a matter now if we can perform and get this win. I know that people say, even at a 1-0 win, if it goes off the backside of one of our players or even one of theirs, that's the 3 points. So what do you reckon, George? Do you reckon we're going to go out full belt and get these 3 points, get in the faces, like we did in the first half?
Yeah, it's always nice to go in style. Always nice to go in style, Frank. Play with style and panache. Play like we can do. Play like champions. That's what we need to be doing. I remember a year or two ago, we beat them about 5 down there. Trent scored a wonderful goal. I mean, the stats don't lie and the table doesn't lie. I don't know how many points we had ahead of them, about 40 points or something, So there's no comparison between the teams. So we just need to prove that on the Sunday and play like we can play, move the ball around quicker, don't make any stupid mistakes at the back, get the first goal, press on, then another couple, walk off there with a minimum of 3-0, and then we can go heads held high back to Anfield against Spurs and finish the job.
There you go. There you go. Well said. What about you, Brian?
Same thing. Echo everything that George said. Yes. Play two halves of the same attacking, aggressive football. No lapses in the back, and there should be a win at Leicester. Well, here's my question though. But I know we don't want to back our way into the title. But would you be okay if Crystal Palace did us a solid and took care of Arsenal on Wednesday?
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they owe us. Yeah. So, anyway.
Yeah.
And they could do. They're a good side.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
I think now, Arsenal are looking at the gap. This is just me speaking.
Right.
They're looking at that gap and they know it's not a hill, it's a mountain to climb. So all their concentration will be on the Champions League.
Yeah, got to be.
Okay, yeah.
So I think this puts us in good stead to just go out to Leicester, go down to Leicester, play our normal football, get the 3 points, and I think that'll be puts a bet. I really do think puts a bet. So who's you think I tell you what I'm always worried about is our defence. You mentioned that, George. You mentioned it. And that's worrying now.
Yeah.
Because we have been making silly mistakes. But I'll go to Brian on this. Is the defence worrying you a little, Brian? And I've been lately as well, being worrying lately.
Yes, it does. Just the lapses and how quickly, especially on 1-2, is how quickly the attacker gets behind them and on through balls and set pieces too. I'm concerned about that. I'm getting flashbacks to 2013 with Rodgers. So yeah, I hope there's some reinforcements coming in the off season.
Well, what about Chiesa? For the Leicester game. Do you think there's any chance of him even getting minutes? Never mind starting.
Yeah, it goes back to what you said last time we talked. I don't think he's Slot's player. And I hope he does. I mean, we could use him. At least that spark off the bench. But I don't know. I don't know if he'll get any minutes. I think Slot's could tempt him to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something not quite right there, is there? Something not quite right. He's not getting enough minutes on the pitch. And when he's come on, he's looked pretty good. And he's fit, he's happy, he's a good team player. So there must be a reason why Arne's not playing him. I don't know whether it's because he wasn't his choice, because he doesn't think he fits the system. I don't know. But, I mean, I'd give him a chance against Leicester. I'm not saying from the start, but I think he would do quite well against Leicester.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Like about the defence, I think one of the things I'd like to say about the defence, it's communication. That's where the problem's been a little bit recently. I mean, that own goal between Robbo and Van Dijk, that was a shocker. All we needed was Van Dijk to say, my ball, or Robertson say, leave it. But the two of them went for it, and it just ended could have been a tragedy, 5 minutes from the end. Good job he's got that wonderful header, because that took us back on again. But I mean, and you can see it coming against West Ham, because West Ham are playing pretty football. They were going through us quite easily, played the ball around that second half attacking, and we just lost. That's the second time that's happened to us, where we've lost the plot in the second half. We can't afford that to happen next two games.
Yeah, totally agree. And this is what I mean. Let's go out. Let's go out against Leicester. Let's get in the faces, because excuse me. If we get in their faces like we did against the other day, and right in the faces, we were brilliant the first half.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. But the second half, okay, forget about the second half. But if we can get at Leicester like we did, I think we can wipe the floor with them. I really do. I really, really do. But But who'd you, as I said, would you play Chiesa? Chiesa has to have some minutes because Jota, I'm sorry to say that he's not firing on all the cylinders that he has, if you know what I mean. And this is where we, struggling a bit, and this is where it depends on the likes of Mo Salah. If Mo Salah doesn't score or assist, what's going to happen? And this is a problem. This is a problem, Brian.
Oh, it is absolutely, yes, it is. I mean, he's what percentage of our offense are we scoring? I mean, he's what good for what? At least what? The assists and goals, and who's what second on the list, and how far back? I think it's like what 16 goals is it, or 8 goals or something? Anyways, there's a wide gap between the goal scoring from Salah and the next one. I'll pull my stats later, but yeah, it's just something would happen to Salah. Yeah, we're screwed.
Yeah, I think Diaz has got about 10 goals and Gakpo's got about 11 goals. So apart from them two, Jota's been out injured a long time, to be fair. But I agree with you, Frank. He's not been firing on all cylinders for a few weeks now, Jota. Chiesa, I don't think would do any harm to play him because I think he might surprise a few people.
Yeah, as Callum says, it's time to start Chiesa when we win the league. So, just start him because the league's already won and give him some minutes. But I think he'll go. I think Elliott will go as well, George.
It looks like it. Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? I feel sorry about that if he does. I have a lot of time for Harvey Elliott. I think he's a real hard-working player with a lot of skill, tenacity, passes the ball well, can shoot, and he just hasn't had a proper chance because probably the brilliance of the other three in the midfield. And it's been hard. I mean, Curtis Jones has broke in, but Harvey hasn't quite. So you might be right there. They might cut and run and get some money for Harvey. Be a shame, though. Be a shame.
Yeah, it's you see, he's out of favour as well. He's out of favour.
Yeah, on that inside Anfield, I've seen a picture of him at the end. The guys were all laughing and coming in the dressing room, and he was going out onto the pitch on his own with a ball to do a bit of extra training because he hadn't played. And I felt a little bit sorry for the lad. He's walking under the "This is Anfield" sign, walking into the pitch when the rest were all in the dressing room dancing.
And he's a big red as well.
Big red, full of enthusiasm. I like him. A lot of time for him.
Yeah. But that's Mr. Slot, isn't it, for you? And Dino says, as a season ticket holder, I've waited all my life to be in Anfield when we win the league. We deserve to win it in front of our own fans, especially after the scandemic.
Yeah, it'd be great, Dean, if we win it at Anfield. It couldn't be better.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we beat Leicester, says IBR, and Spurs, it puts us 82 points in champions. So I want to see Naomi and the kids play in the final few games to help their development.
I have no problem with that.
No, I think that'll happen. Yeah.
Yeah. The Anfield question for Frankie, George, Brian. Robbo, a legend, who I've stuck up for. I'm struggling to understand why he is now unable to cross the ball or assist anymore. For 2 years, he has really lost his ability. Would you agree with that, George?
I wouldn't agree he's lost his ability, but I'd agree that he's not played to the level he's been playing at in the 2 years, 4 or 5 years previously. Yes, he's gone down a little bit in my estimation. Not my estimation, but in his performances. And unfortunately, in the last month or so, he's been culpable a couple of times with pretty basic mistakes, like passing the ball across the box at Fulham, and then the own goal alongside Virgil, and a couple of other times where he's missed a tackle or so. But I love Robbo. I mean, he's been a fantastic servant. Cost us 8 million. Unbelievable value. Him and Trent have created hundreds of goals with the crosses and passes. But there's a little bit of truth in what Anfield Road is saying. He's not playing. I don't think he'll be starting every game next season, put it that way. I think he'll still be there. He'll still be there for another season, but hopefully bring another full back in, someone like Kerkez, to give him more minutes off and on rather than on all the time.
Yeah, yeah. For the experience, to be honest, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what do you think about what Anfield Law said? Brian?
I lean more towards what George has said too about Robbo. Definitely, I think it's a. Well, let me back up and say this: his performance or his ability or his performance has sort of dropped off ever since the breakup of the triplets. Let's be honest. It's much easier when you have Mane, Salah, and Firmino up front, creating all sorts of havoc and pinning the defense back and pulling midfield back. So he hasn't had that. Defensively, he's been kind of suspect. He's been suspect for a few years. So no, I think, and I guess also part of it too is his injury. Did he rush back to claim the spot from Tsimikas or what? Anyway, could be there are a lot of factors going on. But yeah, I'd say he's been a good steward to the club. But yeah, it's time to go.
Yeah, I agree. Because we can't hold on to sentimentality.
Right.
There is no sentiment in football, Frank. There's no sentiment. Unfortunately, never has been.
But there is a caveat there because we have to hold on to them. I'll tell you for why. Not only for his experience, but also the owners will not splash out on other players, if you know what I mean. And there's only, I think Tsimikas will be gone as well. I think he'll be gone.
Could be.
So we'd have no left back. The only left back we'd have is if we bring someone in.
Yeah.
We need cover. We do really need cover. We need more players than anyway.
I'll tell you what I like, Frank. One thing I like about Robbo, and it came across with that goal, his passion, the way he shouted at Van Dijk. I know it's not always right, but in a way I love that. And Van Dijk, said at the end, we're all pals here, but we're all enthusiastic, and you can see how upset he was at losing a goal. I think that's great.
Yeah, well, I think it goes right through the team as well.
That's brilliant.
Especially Ali.
Yeah, he was shouting. Yeah.
God, blimey, he was an arse shout at them. But that's why Liverpool. We've only got to tighten up our defence. We could beat anybody in the world. Anybody. Because, we've got one of the best goalkeeper in the world behind us. And I always remember Tommy Smith saying about Ray Clements, when they were playing. He said, it's all right, we can keep players out. We can keep the opposition out. And they have to have 25 to 35 yard shots. He said, and they'll never, ever beat Clem. That's what he said. What he said. If you're one of the best goalkeepers in the world, and Clements was, by the way, I thought he was well better than Shilton. And yet Shilton was a little, I don't know, he was always being picked for England, wasn't he? And I used to just shake my head and say, how can they leave Ray Clements so? An incredible. Would you agree with this as well, what the IBR says? We lack pace across the park.
I'm not 100% because I think it depends what he means. I'm not front Diaz. In my book, anyway, for my opinion, Diaz is quick. Gakpo's quick. Nunes is quick, but he's not. He knows to do when he gets there. Midfield, McAllister's not quick, but he makes the ball work. So Mulby, Marianne Mulby wasn't quick, but he was brilliant. He made the ball work. So you don't have to be quick in midfield as long as you can control the ball and make the passes. Up front, in a modern Premier League, you need to be quick. You've got to be pace over 10 yards. It's what all the great players have. 10 yards, pace. Diaz has got it. I mean, he's got the pace. Jota hasn't got the pace, but he's deceptive. When he runs with the ball, he carries it quite well when he's at his best. But no, I don't entirely agree with Barry. I mean, I know what he means, but I think we've got a reasonable amount of pace up front. And Salah, can't see much more pace. The way he beat that fullback at the weekend.
That was incredible, wasn't it? That was incredible.
I know.
The way he just turned and that
Right.
the ball he gave. God blimey.
I know.
You know, this is what I mean about Salah. You know, take him out of the equation, we would struggle.
We wouldn't be where we are, Frank.
No, definitely wouldn't be.
Not this season, anyway.
And Barry Aldridge says, we shouldn't be too bothered by Leicester, but Virgil and Salah signing up doesn't mean our performance will improve, but I hope not. I hope it does. And, you know, so people are worried about our performances. And Darryl says, we definitely need a number 10. Szoboszlai is not a number 10, in my opinion. And Steve Evans still got no confidence in Messiers, Edwards, and Hughes. It's strange, you know. I'm gonna ask you, Brian, and then you, George. Right, the signing, you know, with Virgil and Mo signing, right? Who do you think negotiated their signing? I'll tell you my idea, my opinion, my thoughts. It's Virgil himself and Mo himself and their agents. That's who sorted that. Nobody else. The likes of you know, Mo coming out, and he says his kids love Liverpool, and his wife is settled there. They love it there. And the likes of Virgil said more or less a mirror image of what Mo said, if you know what I mean. And that's him. So to me, it was themselves who signed that contract. There was no one else persuading. See, someone put up today, I was watching a pod, and he was saying, you know, we've got to thank Richard Hughes for them to getting them to sign. And I thought, where's this fella coming from? Because he couldn't turn around to them, Mo, and Virgil, and saying, look, this is a great club. We're going places. You know, look at the history. They already know this, if you know what I mean. And I don't know why these people, Hughes has been non-existent right through from when he signs as a director of football. He's been non-existent. He doesn't come out and say anything. And he's brought no one in unless he brought Chiesa in. I just don't know. Just don't know. But I'm sure to God that he hasn't had any say in, you know, those two signing, Mo and Virgil. That's just right.
Go on, Brian.
No, I was saying right. No, go on, George, please. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, it seems to me, the way I read it, is that there's been a long delay in this coming to fruition, these contracts. And, you know, what's happened is Virgil and Salah have got exactly what they wanted and have wanted all along. They've wanted a 2-year contract. And it seems to me that Hughes and Edwards in the beginning weren't prepared to give them a 2-year contract.
No.
The second point must have been, well, you know, we'll give you a 1-year contract and that's it. And that's because the money, they're getting paid $400,000 a week or whatever. It's not much different than what they were getting paid before. No. A lot of money, obviously. But, I mean, they could have signed this contract about 4 months ago if they'd have just gone along with it. So I agree with you, Frank, really. I think they've done very little, Edwards and Hughes, because Virgil and Salah have got what they wanted, which was the 2-year contract. And in the end, the club's got what they wanted because they can still sell both of them if they wanted to at the end of next season and make money. Yeah. I remember you saying you thought both of them would sign and the club would advertise it as 2 new signings. You said that months ago. Yeah. And it's come to fruition. They're not actually shouting from the rooftops 2 new signings, but they're basically looking at it like, you know, it's 2 big signings that are staying with us.
Well, we knew, though, didn't we? We knew, right, George and Brian, that they were going to sign Now,
Yes.
the concentration of views, if he had any say, would have been with Trent.
Yeah.
To get Trent to sign, if
Yeah.
you know what I mean. But I don't think he has any sort of influence on any of them. That's just my opinion. Brian?
I agree with what George said. I mean, as far as who negotiated, I think Salah's 40 goals did, and Virgil's captaincy. And I've never heard them say anything, oh no, Liverpool sucks, I want to leave, let me get out and go test the market. They love it there. They love it, and they want to stay. So it's pretty much a no-brainer. And as far as we're thanking Hughes, like, well, okay, that was his job to get them signed. And as you said, his job was also to convince Trent to stay. So signing Virgil and Salah, okay, well, thanks for doing your job, well done. Now, who we bringing in to support them? So I guess I'm not as enamored with the operations as some are, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah. Well, Paul always says Jota has had moments at Liverpool, but he just can't stay fit, and his time is probably up. And Abdul Rahim says, "Hi everyone, how are you all doing? Like, comment, share, and subscribe." Oh, thank you, Rahim. Thank you so much. And Elmo James, I wouldn't sell Robbo, no chance. Samikas before him. But I think people are agreeing with you there, Elmo. I really do. Again, it's for experience. We have to keep him on board in some capacity. That'll be playing capacity. It won't be for anything else, to be honest. And Dino says, think Robbo is in his own head. He knows he's been below his standards and probably trying too hard for me. When you try too hard, you end up making silly mistakes and overcooking or undercooking crosses, etc. His crosses, though, they do have to come into question. He's been terrible. He set his own standards, didn't he? Throughout the years, him and Trent, they set their own standards. Incredible crosses, incredible assists, and then all of a sudden, it just vanished.
Yeah, he's not hitting the far post enough.
Yeah. So I think they're good comments there, though. By the way, the problem at left back will be getting rid of either Robbo or Samikas, says Paul Owen. Absolutely. But I don't think, I think we've agreed that Robertson will be, staying at the club and bringing in a left back. And I think he'll understand and accept being an understudy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
To come in
he's not going to go anywhere, is he?
No, because I think he's that type of player, well, character, not player, but a character who'll say, bring someone in and I'll stand by him. If he's injured, I'll come in and cover for him, because we do need cover. I tell you, I've said it time and time again, George and Brian, I'd love that in Cappy. I'd love him. And I know that there's been links there, and Liverpool are looking at this in Cappy. I'd love him because he can play in two positions. He can play left back and he can also play left-sided
midfield,
centre back too. So I'd love him if anyone, if he's a left back coming in. And hang on, the Anfield Raw. Question for Frankie Georgie, man. Do you think our biggest issue we must address is getting that press from the front to right again? Yes. I watched along with Frankie and we both said we were not pressing.
Yeah, that's one of Liverpool's biggest strengths when they play like that, when they play with a high press. That's what won such a lot of games. It's wonderful to see, when they attack the ball, when they lose the ball and they all go like hunting for it and push up I like to see that. You're probably right, Anfield Road. We've not quite been doing as much of that. Certainly in the last month. From
Well,
the
that's all that I was saying. George,
FA Cup game. Yeah.
George, I
From
was saying,
the Plymouth game through to the final. And then
yeah.
Fulham. Yeah. 3 games.
Well, I was saying, George, right through that second half, as the Anfield Roar said, in the second half against West Ham, I was saying, where's the press?
We went to sleep. Yeah, we went to sleep, didn't we? Went to sleep.
Yeah, exactly, and this is why he's mentioned it. We were watching it and we were asking, because even the Anfield Roar was putting up his comments saying, where's the press? Where is the press?
I was surprised at the substitutes when he brought on Qualter and why didn't you bring on Harvey and Chaser?
Yeah.
For me,
this
that
is
would
what
have been
everyone was saying.
Right. Well, here's a question for you two then. Sure, Slot's first season, you come in, you're going to try and maintain continuity. So beginning of the season, there was a lot more pressing. Do you think he's slowly implementing his system, or trying to implement his system, or put his mark on the club? Because face it, these are really this is really Klopp's players, Klopp's team.
Yeah, because they play a lot slower. They play a lot slower than Klopp's team. More precision passing, especially in defence. And then Virgil hit the long ball out to Salah. But when Klopp was in charge, it was heavy metal football. They were going back a hunting dog.
It was press, wasn't it? It was press. And getting at the opposition. Very successful, by the way. Very successful.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sorry. That's what you're saying. Yeah. That's what I think Slot was saying. He's going to pass the teams to death. So I think he's more content with just sitting back, pass the run ball. And if the counter is there, he'll go for it.
Well, I suppose, Brian, we can't knock it, can we? We've only lost 2 games.
Well, yeah, true. Absolutely. but the substitutions are suspect. And
I thought this was wondering. Harvey.
Yeah, wondering is he trying he's gonna make the full transition next season? Okay, this person can play like Quanta. Quanta's not a right back.
No,
he's not a right back, but he keeps playing him out there. It's okay. Well, are you experimenting with playing three center backs, or 3 in the back, or what are you tinkering with? And that's what I wonder. So
we lost that goal from across to the left wing, didn't we? The own goal.
Yeah.
Well, I when he was making the subs, I thought, when I seen Jones coming off, I said, what's he bringing him off for?
Yeah.
Jones was having a good game.
Yeah,
but I think he got the subs completely and utterly wrong. He really did. But that's just me. There's a question, boys. Question for the panel, says the IBL. If McAllister goes to Madrid, who is the choice to replace him?
Well, he's not going to Madrid. Who says he's going to Madrid?
No, I think he's just surmising, because, they are looking at it now, especially after that.
I was going to say, who else are they going to pinch from us?
Yeah, exactly. But, hypothetically, say like he does go. Just say. Who would you like to see him, replaced by?
You mean a new signing?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind the big guy. I wouldn't mind the big guy from Newcastle. Guimaraes.
Oh yes, good one.
Bruno Guimaraes, fantastic player. He ran the show at Wembley.
But I can't see Newcastle selling, because they're going in the Champions League without a shadow of a doubt.
We can offer the Nunes as a swap, Frank.
Oh. plus millions, yeah.
No,
but that's a good choice, actually. That's a good choice, what you said.
Well, that's the quality we want, that type of quality, don't we? It's going to be an interesting summer.
Yeah, it is going to be very interesting. But we've got the... I'm not confident with the owners, I'm being honest. I'm not confident, for these, this promised war chest yet again. a promised war chest. I just do not trust them. But whoever comes in, has to be quality players.
In line with us, in line with our position, the most successful football club in the country. Come on, let's on. When we get the 20th league title, that's it. Nobody's won more trophies than Liverpool in the United Kingdom.
Right.
No, you're right. You're right. But that doesn't resonate with the owners, does it? It's there you go like that. Well, yeah, buy him or whatever. If someone comes out and say, "Well, we need this player, we need that player, we need that other player," and it's up to them to say, "Well, okay, here's the money, go and buy them." This is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, do we put trust in the owners this summer?
That's a good question. I mean, there's the Adidas money coming in next season with the sponsor. Oh, well, the shirt sponsor. I'm sorry, the shirt manufacturer.
Premier League, all the money from Europe. Yeah.
Yeah, the money from Europe, the money from winning the league.
Yeah.
And now you're defending the league. You just signed Salah and Virgil. Okay, so the question is, what are you going to do to defend the title and back slot? It's pretty straightforward, and there's no excuse to be given from the usual suspects, the stenographers on social media and the press, and try to sell us Virgil and Salah as new signings. No, they're going to have to. It's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah, exactly. And the Anfield Roar says, "Can we all hit the likes and subscribe, please? I like the Mafia. You wake up with Ruud van Nistelrooy's head in your bed." And no one says yet. So hit the up, please, for Frankie. Thank you. Anfield Roar. And the Anfield saying to the IVR, "Don't you think he isn't any slower though? And he does get forward, but he never picks anyone out. His crossing has been awful." I don't know who they're talking about.
Robbo, I think, Frank.
Okay. Oh, yeah, it is. It's his Robbo, what they're talking about. See, they're talking to each other. The King. Hey, lads. Brilliant Virgil news along over to, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Fantastic news.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know this is a cracking comment. This by the idea, the contracts have been a needless distraction.
Yeah, it'd been built up by social media, by the media, and by everybody talking about it all the time. But you're right, that could have been dealt with weeks ago, months ago, even.
Well, do you know what? I was watching YouTube before, and that TalkSport is it. I don't watch that. I don't really watch it. I'm that fellow with the glasses on, the thick glasses. I don't know these two fellas.
A guy, Jason Cundy's one, yeah.
Yeah, well, no, I don't think it was Cundy.
He's an idiot.
Well, this fellow with the thick glasses on.
Oh,
He said, "Oh yeah, it's great by Liverpool, and signing Virgil and whatever." Then he started going on about when he left Southampton, and it was like, in other words, it was underhanded the way he left. And I thought, what the fuck is he saying that for? That was years ago.
Is that the guy that used to own Crystal Palace?
There's bitterness. I don't know. I haven't a clue. I know he's on there all the time with some baldy fella.
Yeah. Keown is on as well, isn't he? Martin Keown.
Anyway, the Anfield Roar says they've more likely signed because Hughes and the data analysis team have looked and gone. To replace those two would be very costly and affect our budget this summer.
Yeah, but they must have known that all along, though.
Yeah, of course. Of course, George.
Yeah.
And Elmo says, they bought the main stand. Oh my God, I'm sorry. They brought the main man in to put us in this position. That's amazing. I'll have to get my reading glasses, obviously. And the outfield row, Frankie, Brian, George. Does any of you catch the Buffalo Bills and Liverpool fans swap? I thought it was a great advertisement for both cities. Great little bit. No,
Haven't seen that. No.
no, never seen that.
Yeah.
Did you see that, Brian, over there in the States? Are you there, Brian?
We lost him for a minute.
Yeah, we've lost him. All right, we'll carry on.
Yep.
He's gone. He's gone. Darrell says, no way is there a release of 60 million. If there is, he is gone summer, 100%. I don't know who's talking about there either. And Dino says, for the first time ever under Slot, I questioned his tactics. The lack of pressing on Sunday was by design. We was trying to hold on to a 1-0. I could sense their equaliser coming, and Slot was being too cautious for me.
You're right,
Well, I said exactly the same what you said there, Dean, because I think when you and I were talking, George, I said, he's sat back. He's gone like this at half time. All right, lads, sit back and let them come at us and just get them on the counter-attack. Yeah. But he didn't realise how good West Ham were going to be honest. So you're spot on.
Totally as soon as you took that off, you could tell.
Yeah. Totally agree with you, Dean. Totally.
You put Endo on.
If they get rid of Maka, may as well put the whole squad up for sale, says Darrell.
They won't get rid of
him. I don't know where Darrell's getting all these like rumours from. I just don't know.
No way Maka's going anywhere.
No.
Why would you leave Liverpool? Why would you leave Liverpool anyway? Why would you leave? You could be champions of England. Crikey me. You need to be crazy.
The IBR answers Darrell. It's been doing the rounds over the last week or so. A real worry if McAllister leaves, especially this summer, with so many positions in need of addressing.
Don't be listening to that, Darrell. It's a load of nonsense, honestly, mate.
No. And Paul Bray, after the last two games, we got overrun in midfield. It was plain to see, but instead of taking forward and putting a midfielder on, he chose to change the fullbacks and didn't get it at all.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. You know, what did I say to you, George? Even before the game, I wanted Ford in midfield.
Yes.
I wanted Ford with Jones there.
Yeah, that would have stopped it.
It's just ridiculous.
We just invited them onto us, and they had nothing to lose.
No. Another Potter, you know, he's never lost against us, by the way, Potter, until Sunday. He never lost to us. He's always given us a hard time.
That's right. Yeah,
he did in the second half, but because of our own tactics. The Anfield Row. People in the media driving me mad saying our form slipped. What winning out of the last six is slipping, as my dad says in Scotland about these lot. Your burns out windy disrespect to our club is a joke, whatever that means.
Your bums out, he says your bums out the windy.
Oh, okay.
It's a Scottish expression.
And Paul always says, Robbo only has 1 year left on his contract, and I reckon he could be the one to go. And Samikas who seems happy on the bench, might run his contract out.
They could run Robbo's contract down, couldn't they? And he'd play all season and then go.
Yeah, and go on a free, which will be great for him.
Great for him,
because he'll get the money, won't he?
Yes.
I think that's a great thing. That.
He's still young enough.
Yeah, I think that's great. That. And Dino says, agree about Curtis, Frank. It was not surprising we couldn't keep hold of the ball on Sunday. Once he went off, he's probably the only player in our team that's able to put his foot on the ball and when under pressure, stay composed and either keep the ball or give it to a teammate. I'd sign that. But yeah, I would.
Yeah,
because he's an unbelievable footballer, him. I think that's a cracking comment.
Yeah, he'd be a good signing.
Do you like that Paqueta, by the way?
Yeah, you might get him as well because West Ham are, they're not really pulling up any trees, are they? So he might be available.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Anfield Roar, Frankie, we have to believe that spending will happen now. There's no way this squad is going to continue to be successful. And if they don't buy, then we're as... Yep.
They need to build. They do need to. Well, we know that, don't we? They need to build on the current squad to make it even stronger.
Follow is steady on Frank. Baldy lives matter even at talk sports.
Even on this pod.
I didn't mean to say, but honestly, I know that the fella he's talking to, I think he's Scottish as well.
Not Alan Brazil, no.
No, wasn't that? No, you must have seen this fella. You must have seen this fella loads of times and is up or with him, if you know what I mean. He's always dressed smart, this fella, by the way. You know, the fella who was saying about, fucking hell, someone on there must know who I'm talking about.
It's a lad that used to own Crystal Palace. He was Crystal Palace's owner.
Oh, okay.
I just forget the name.
Yeah, that's him. He does own a club.
Yeah, he's a right mouth almighty, isn't he? He's very opinionated. Yeah, very opinionated.
He was going on about when Virgil left Southampton, and I thought, what's he going on about there? And he should have been reprimanded or someone should have been reprimanded for it. Someone must have been down his ear or something like that. Oh, piss off. I think that's shocking, that, buddy.
Yeah, some of the media.
Dino says, sounds like it was Paul Hawksby and Andy Jacobs, Spurs and Chelsea fan. Oh, well, there you go.
Could be.
There you go. Thanks for that.
Very talented.
Brian. Sorry, Frank. Lost connection. Construction in the area.
Yeah, I thought that must have happened. It just went down, didn't it?
Yeah. And the IBR, there's a good comment. We need another Ginny type player like Fofana or Balaba would be nice. That Balaba's good. I like him.
They're both good then, yeah. That's the sort of player we need, that quality. Yeah.
It is, but that's what we need, George, isn't it?
Yeah, agree with that.
Real quality we need. And Edward's with us. Hello, Frank and George. Hey, Edward.
Edward. To see you.
Simon Jordan, says Edward. That's who we're talking about.
That's the man. Yeah, that's him. Yeah. He comes on with Martin Keown and
the rest of them. And the Anfield says, Rangers fan Jim Smith from Sky Sports.
Well, a lot of them try to be controversial just to get clicks, just to get, come out with something.
Yeah.
The media, I mean, they're always going on about it's been a poor league, it's not a very good league, and Liverpool's the best of a bad bunch. It's a load of rubbish. I mean, it's been one of the toughest leagues ever. Nobody can beat anybody. Anybody could win.
No.
You know what I mean? There's no easy games at all in the Premier League. I mean, it's okay. Man City's dipped this year, as you'd expect they must do after the success they've had. they're bound to have people like De Bruyne coming over the hill, and a few others as well. I mean, look at the team they used to have. They had that wonderful centre forward Aguero. They had the guy, the left winger.
They were an unbelievable side.
It's unbelievable.
Side.
You can't keep that up all the time. So they're in a process now of rebuilding. So Man United are down the Swanee River. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do.
But doesn't it prove what you're saying there, George? About the Premiership, because once you go under, it's very hard to get back.
Yes.
And Man United are proving it.
Yeah, and Spurs.
And Spurs, yeah.
Big clubs.
Spurs, they were in a final with us, the Champions League final.
Yeah, and Everton's above them now.
That sums it up. A Champions League final they were in a few years ago with us.
Yeah, no.
And Pochettino then was manager, and he was saying, but the way Spurs are now, after the final, by the way, they were saying they've got a great future together, and there'll be more finals to come. This is what he was saying, and look at them now.
I mean, even Arsenal, when you look at Arsenal, to be honest, great team, great side, lots of good players. They've won nothing. When was the last win of anything, Arsenal? Can't remember the last trophy they had. A few years ago, I would imagine.
Yeah.
It's no good being runners-up every year, is it? Runners-up mean nothing,
no.
Unfortunately.
No. The IBR says, would you guys take Delap from Ipswich as he's available for 30 million?
I'll tell you what, that's an interesting comment, that, even if he was a squad player, the guy scores goals in a poor team. And he looks quite dynamic to me, Delap. He's always there, always in the box. It wouldn't be a bad consideration.
I like that Yao Gomez. I like him.
Yeah, another one. Yeah.
Edward says, with the league and United finish bottom half, win the league.
Pretty guaranteed about that, Edward, I think. Both of them points.
And Balabar would be boss IBR. I like Stiller as well. I think it's no matter who we mention, and it's us who's mentioning it and nobody else, and it's who we would like. We've never once said we're going to get them. Not once on this pod, no one. But we have mentioned players. We have always mentioned them. And the player that escaped us in the January gone, to my opinion, is one of the best players on the planet, and that's Karabashila.
Yeah, from PSG. Yeah, definitely. He's a cracker.
Honestly, George, I said 2 years ago, there's a lad who plays for Napoli. He's absolutely amazing. And then we played them, and he was amazing. Napoli I'm talking about. Then we played them, and he was amazing. He said, "You're right there, Frank." He is.
Yeah, he's a really gifted player.
And unfortunately, he's gone over there.
Yeah, you're right.
And Dino says, thought he was a Celtic fan, or one of us is pissed off. They're talking about that. I don't know. Apparently, Delap turns out Man United, so technically Man U are now getting snubbed by Championship.
Well, if you're not in the European Cup, then people don't want to come and play for you. Simple as that. The top stars only want to be in the European Cup.
Exactly. It's the Champions League he wants. We've all these top players.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Have always wanted Champions League. They want the bigger stage, rather than going into that conference or the Europa League, to be honest. But they want the big stage. They want Champions League, and we're going to be in the Champions League. we're not only going to be in the Champions League, but we're going to be the champions of England as well.
I mean, Hughes and Edwards need to be out there selling that. The fact that this is the biggest club in the UK, we're always in the Champions League. Come here and be part of this wonderful squad, this wonderful city, wonderful team, the passion of the fans. You can't beat it anywhere else. Only one or two places even match it. So they should be really marketing that to the players.
Spot on, George. Great answer. And you're so right that we should be saying these things to the world, to the other players. Come here. This is great. Not like just sitting back and doing nothing and saying, "Oh yeah, well we know." But
don't go to London for the nightclubs. Come to Liverpool for the football.
Exactly. I think we'll get a lot of money coming in without going, says Edward.
Yeah, we probably will.
Yeah, but do we buy with all the money? If you know what I mean, and to win the league as well, and for what we've done.
Yeah,
they should be there for at least 4 players. To bring 4 players in. But let's see.
Yeah, we can't be getting rid of too many though, because we don't want to be sort of.
No, we can't. This is why we've got to keep Robertson.
If this team win the league, then they've got to keep the bulk of them.
Yeah, but at least to keep our spine. That's the most important thing. Keep the spine and add to it. That's all.
Yeah.
Just that. Keep our midfield. Our midfield's good enough.
Definitely.
Keep them. Bring in another striker. We have to bring in a striker. Yeah. We have to bring in a DM. We really do. A number 6. And a left back.
3 or 4 players. Probably 4 players, I think.
And someone to cover for young Bradley. And that's it. I think we're sound then.
Yeah. I wonder if Joe Gomez will stay.
I said
he's a utility player, isn't he? If he's fit, he's a useful player to have in the squad.
But I said that to Francine, I said, imagine if Joe Gomez goes. And she said, I think he will, Dad, because he's injury prone.
Yeah, and he'll want first team football as well.
No. Anyway, the Anfield Roar says, question for Frankie and George. With our analytical department now complete with Larry Shaw from Man City, we now have 35 analysts. And I counted, we have 35 scouts. And Barry Hunter and Chiesa was a yes. There you go.
You're probably right, Anfield. And Gordon Wallace and I went up to Kirby Academy a couple of months ago. And when we went up into the main area there was about 20 of them around computers, all with the tracksuits on, all young lads, computer boffins. Don't know what they were doing on the computers, but they came over and spoke to us when they were told we played for the boss, for Shanks. And they were lovely lads. But, I mean, a lot of them, I must admit, they've got a lot of analysts.
Do you know what Francine passed the academy?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, yeah.
And she said, not the academy, I'm sorry, but the extra training grounds where all the first team are. And she passed there, she said, Dad, you should have seen all the youngsters with all the tops on, waiting for the players.
Fantastic.
And I said, well, that's what Liverpool is all about.
Sure,
and that's what the players see. You know what I mean? The players wave to them, obviously. I think it's. I love our fans. I really do. I love them all.
They're the greatest.
Of course. Yeah, look. Now there's a kid I don't want to see go, but unfortunately, we'll get a lot of money in for Doug. They knocked back 20 million in January.
I don't know why they're thinking of letting that lad go. I think that lad could be a great addition to the first team squad. It's my personal opinion. I've seen him play for Scotland, and he's electric.
It shows you, doesn't it? The likes of Doak and that young Dance. I think that they're stars in the making.
And Baticic's playing great over there in Spain, where he is. Yeah, I believe he's playing really well. He could come back next year. You need those guys in the squad.
Of course you do. Of course you do. I tell you what, though, George, I'm not being funny, but our under-21s are shocking. I've seen them play.
They're not very good results, are they? I've seen a few of the results. They're not sweeping the board, are they?
Terrible. I've seen them play.
Man, you only need a couple of them to come through, Frank. That's the thing, you see. A lot of them won't be up to it. They won't get there. They just won't get there. No. There'll be one or two.
But we know that Dan's will, and we know that young Dunk will.
Yeah, they're already coming. They're already there. They're there. He's playing the first team.
Exactly.
4 goals in the first team, Dan's.
And the Anfield Law says, listening to Kieran Maguire about, have you noticed what he's done? Anfield Law.
Go on.
And his last 2 comments. He's made the words bigger, the letters bigger.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. You know what I mean? He's great. Yeah, I love that.
It's putting the point over, isn't it? That's putting the next shout.
Yeah. Listening to Kieran Maguire about our finances, he is saying the club has 400 million or more in cash flow. So spending isn't an issue. It all depends on what analytics says. Now that's.
I wonder what Shankly would have said about analytics. I know what he would have said. I won't repeat it.
I'm just going to show these, if you don't mind.
Oh, there you look at that.
So there's the things, boys. You know, someone is going to win that watch. I took a photograph of the watch because every time I try to show it, it doesn't give you the quality.
Brilliant, isn't it? Beautiful. I've seen it. You've showed me it.
Yeah, you have. You have seen it. You have. And, you know, so you can get a better view from that, but someone is going to win it. I think the King, I don't know whether he's in the lead now.
I think it's between the King and your grandson.
Yeah, my grandson, Ben, yeah. And there's Mo's autographed Champions League programme.
That's a fantastic item.
It is, isn't it, George?
Yeah.
And the spine's all intact as well. It's never been, like, you know, really looked at because I won't allow anyone to open it to keep the spine in shape.
Yeah, and I'm going to give one of my books for 3rd prize. I remember saying that.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I'm sorry there, George. Yeah.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
So 3 prizes.
I think the prizes are great, actually.
If I could finish 3rd, Frank, I might win it myself. I think I'm
George, I'm sorry there. I meant to take that off. Yeah, there we are. No, I was going to say, you know, I'm going to give 50 quid as well to somebody to see. I'm going to say, yeah, there's 50 quid.
It's quite exciting now, though. It's quite exciting because it's getting into the last 6 games, so anything can happen in that top 4 or 5.
So if you come near that 50 quid, George, and you actually win it, I won't give you the 50 quid. I'll just give you the big bottle of scotch.
That'd be much better, yeah.
That'll be much better for you.
No, it's quite exciting. It's good fun. I'm up and down like a yo-yo. I'm at number 8.
Of course. And you know what? There's no one better on these people. I'm not just saying this, you know, but there's no one better on here simply because the genuine supporters.
Fantastic.
You know what I mean? The genuine. And they've gone in the competitions as well.
Yeah.
So that's why. And, you know, someone said to me once, not on here, not one of the lads, and said, why don't you ask for a super chat? I said, what's a super chat? He said, well, you know, you put comments up at the... I said, no. I said, I don't want money off anybody. I said, if I want money, I said, that's the end of the pod. I said, because the people on here, you know, we try to answer all the comments.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
what it's about. I don't want money off anybody. Super chats. I didn't know what they were talking about, you see.
Yeah, it's a fact, you know. You don't do it for money. And even my book, I mean, all this stuff, charity, I give up most of the stuff to chat.
Of course you do. Of course, you've got a book here. You brought a book down for the one of the prizes.
Yeah, lymphoma research, you know, most of it goes to that. It's a legacy, it's not money.
Of course it is. And Edward says, if Slot likes a small squad, he won't want injury-prone players.
Nobody wants injury-prone players, Edward.
No one,
We've had a
honestly.
few in the past, haven't we?
Yes. And Callum, seeing as it's the last footy stream before Sunday, I'll go Leicester 0, Liverpool 4. Salah scoring 2, Diaz and Chiesa, which won't happen in the brackets. But you know, we can dream off the bench.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be 25 points for me on my
That'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
table.
Wouldn't that be brilliant, though, you know, for Chiesa to go? But you know what? One of the lads said before, didn't he, George? You know, when we win the league, you know, let's play the kids as well. You know, that like that young Naomi. And if Dan's is fit, you know, get him playing as well.
Yeah, bring him back from Sunderland, yeah.
Just get him playing. And Callum says, joke and badge.
That'll be Bazichik.
Yeah. Oh, Bazichik, yeah. I have to say, yeah.
Agree.
And Frankie says, the Anfield Road, and George, watching the young lads, and the best I've seen is Kieran. Yeah, Morrison. That lad is going to be in the first team. Morrison, yeah, he's very good, isn't he?
Yeah, let's hope he progresses. Yeah, let's hope he progresses next season and gets his chance. Then it's up to him.
Yep. Yeah. The Anfield Road again. They've already tried using Joke as a transfer homegrown profit. It's big business now, selling youngsters. It allows you as a club to spend more in spreading cost for a first team, according to.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's true. Bring him through the academy and sell him for 20 million.
This is why the likes of young Elliott going.
Yeah, that's right. They'll get a lot of money for him now. Yeah, he's worth a few pennies.
I've always liked Elliott coming off the bench, I must be honest, rather than starting.
Yeah, well, he's proved his mettle, hasn't he? He's proved his worth many times. Every time Georgie's come off the bench, he's proved. Limens everything up, gets him moving.
Yeah. When we're flagging a little, he comes on and he's running all over the place, getting them moving, as you said.
Yeah, exactly.
And the Anfield says, through Frankie, I enlarged it for you, lad. I don't want you ever straining and ends up like Mr. McGoo. That's right, I'm unfair.
Don't worry, Anfield. It helps me as well, mate.
Do you know what, though, Anfield? Honestly, when I wear those like reading glasses, I look like Mr. Magoo or a Japanese, those Japanese. Like what Benny Hill wears when he plays a Japanese fella. Things. I don't know why. But that's me. I think it's vanity with me. I'm not so quite so sure. And the boss is back. Best wishes, FC, George, and the true Reds on the chat. What's your email, Frank? Just checked in to say good night. and best wishes, chatters. And I do. The only thing to do, boss, is get onto Jason. Get onto Jason, and he'll give you my email.
Yeah.
Jason, the producer, that is, on the description. And you'll get me email. Honestly, you will. And the Anfield, great gift, Frankie. And for me and George in mid-table for our fantasy performance, we get one of Frankie's half-eaten Scouse pies.
At least we're not in the relegation zone, Anfield. Mid-table's okay.
If there was if DVDs were going, I wasn't give you the DVD there, Raw. I was just saying, yeah, this one of my DVDs. Go and enjoy that. See Frankie with darker hair than what I've got now. And he carries on by saying, Callum, Doak and Batatic are gone. You watch. I reckon Quansah, Doak, Batatic, Elliott, Morton will all be moved on, plus Darwin and Jota and Samikas.
You can only move Darwin and Jota on if you get a replacement. You need to get somebody else in.
I don't think the boss is going, look. Be well, good night. Good night, boss.
Good night, boss. Good night, boss.
With a capo, mate.
Good Easter. Have a good weekend.
You're one of our capos. You're one of our capos.
The boss. So we used to call Shanks the boss.
And the Anfield says, Frankie and George, I think the club will look to get younger lads to push the first team players. I just have this feeling it's going to be young players coming in. It wouldn't surprise me, to be honest.
No,
but,
it has to be proven players. Players.
Well, I was just going to say that, but we need at least, if youngsters are coming in, say from the Eredivisie, for example, we need proven
stars,
quality players, at least 2 or 3.
2 or 3. I would say 3.
But we've got to keep our spine. We have to keep the spine rather than sell any of them on. Callum says, go ahead, lads. What's your lineup predictions? I will be talking about that in a moment or two now, to be honest. And the IBR, sell Jota and Nunes and bring in Jonathan David on a free and a lap for 30 million. That's what he says.
Well, I think the lap would probably do a bit better than Jota at the moment.
Yeah.
Younger, fresher, sharper.
Well, all right, George. Shall we pick our team then?
Yeah, go ahead.
Goalkeeper.
Well, Alisson, definitely.
Okay.
No brainer, that one.
Okay, don't pick the back 4. I'll just go one by one. Okay.
Right.
Right back.
Bradley.
Right centre half.
Virgil.
Is alongside Virgil.
Canati.
And left back.
Robbo.
Has to be. Midfield. No, I tell you what. Forget midfield for the time being. Forwards. We always pick Mo. Mo has to be there.
Mo. I would say Mo. For me, it would be Mo, Diaz, and Gakpo.
Okay. Now, where's the thing? Midfield.
Definitely McAllister. Definitely Curtis. And Gravenberch.
Now, do you know what? I'd play 2 up front.
Well, if you did that, then you'd have Curtis in midfield along with
exactly alongside, alongside the other three. Because we've got to like try and experiment, and don't allow them near us. We've got to win this game. We have to go out and win this game, and that's what I'd do. But having said that, he's not going to play it because he's going to play the 4-3-3, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
And in midfield,
I think.
In midfield, I think you're right. I really do, because
if it was against a stronger team away from home, he might go for midfield. But against Leicester, I would think it would be 4-3-3, and that would be my team. Because if you had 4 in midfield, you'd have to choose between Diaz and Gakpo up front.
Yeah.
Salah and Diaz or Salah and Gakpo.
But isn't it sad though, George, the way, we've been saying, haven't we, for a couple of years now, the way Jota is he's one of our lethal finishers. This is what we've been saying.
Yeah, I'd love to see him back on form. Because on form, there's nobody better. On form, I mean, you can put the ball away.
Exactly.
But he just hasn't been doing it for about 2 months.
No. And this is why we're leaving him out.
I know.
And it's sad.
You don't get left out if you're performing, you see. You don't. Shanky used to say about Ian Callaghan. People used to say, well, why am I out of the team, boss? He said, ask Ian. He's never out of the team.
Is that what he used to say?
Yeah, that's what he used to say.
Ask Ian. He's never out of the team.
Ask Kelly. Ask him why he's never out of the team, son. Because he never had a bad game.
Do you think
like Saka at Arsenal.
Yeah.
If you perform, you're in the team.
Do you think, you mentioned Kelly there. Do you think he was the perfect professional?
Yes, 100%. 100%. 857 games in the first team over 17 years. You can't get better than that, can you?
I remember Ron Greenwood. He used to be the manager of West Ham. Then he managed England. And he said, if only, players were just like Ian Callaghan.
Yeah.
And he never moaned. That's what he said.
He
never moaned. And he said that years ago, you know what I mean? When Kelly was playing for us. Imagine a manager coming out, a different manager, not Liverpool or anything.
Yeah.
If we only had, he must have just said like a load of Callaghans who never moaned. So he must have been moaners in those days.
I don't think he even got booked.
No, he did. Oh, he got one booking.
One booking, yeah.
One. I tell you what was the funniest thing I ever saw. And it was I was in the paddock. I was in the paddock. We were playing Celtic in a European game. And what's his name? Tommy Gemmell.
Tommy Gemmell, yeah. Left back. Yeah.
And Kelly was going to, and Tommy Gemmell got the ball, but Tommy fell over, and Kelly hit him, kicked him. And it was like, Kelly. And I forget, I was looking up like that because, in the paddock. And Gemmell jumped up. He said, now jump up. About 9 foot to Kelly, you know what I mean?
You're a big lad, yeah. You're a big lad, Gemmell. Kelly's on his...
And he grabbed Kelly, and he must have seen Kelly's face, Kelly must have gone. And then he patted him on the head. Gemmell got the foul, but it was so funny.
Yeah, I wish some of the lads on the chat, the girls on the chat, they could have seen Ian Callaghan in his prime. I wish they could have seen him. Him and Peter Thompson on the wings. They were class acts. They were really class acts. They go past the fullback on the outside, or the inside. Carly always used to go, like in the cup final, when he crossed the ball for St. John to score the winner in 1965 against Leeds. Just skip past the fullback. Perfect cross right on the Saints' head. He was fantastic, Carly, like that. Never stopped running. And he moved them into midfield when he got a bit older.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he did just as good.
Yeah, he's in midfield. Do you know what? That goal you just mentioned about the Saint, that was one of the best goals that scores, and I'll tell you for why. You know, obviously, like, not at the time, but when you look at it now, he wasn't running forward to it. He wasn't like it wasn't on his head where he could.
He's leaning
back and put it in. So the amount of strength in the Saints' neck.
Yeah, fantastic goal.
Phenomenal. You know,
by the way, we've got that big event coming in a fortnight, Frank. To remember that final.
Yeah.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. The Shankly family are coming as well.
Oh, go away.
Shankly's grandson and his mum and a couple of aunties as well.
Oh, I haven't got it, you know.
Yeah, I've got it here, look. Yeah, that's it.
Do you want to mention something about it, George, please?
Yeah, because it's useful if anybody's in Liverpool or in the Merseyside area. It's Thursday, exactly 60 years to the day that Liverpool won the very first time won the FA Cup in 1965 by beating Leeds United. And there's not many of the boys left now. I think there's about 7 of us that were in the squad. And Chris Lawler's hoping to be there with his wife, if he's well enough. And we've got John Aldridge is coming, John Aldridge, Davy Fairclough, Sammy Lee, Howard Gale, some of the Shankly family. Many of the children of the players who played in the final, Tommy Lawrence's children, Peter Thompson's, Alfie Arrowsmith's, Roger Hunt's daughter, Julie. So there's going to be a tremendous crowd of people. The big fan, to be about a couple hundred people will be there by the time it's be sold out in the end, I think. But still a few tickets. Well, still tickets left at the moment. You get your tickets through Red All Over the Land. You just go online, redallovertheland.com or whatever it is. It's online there anyway. And John Pearman's the organizer, runs that wonderful fanzine. So it's all coming together nicely now, and it should be a fantastic evening. Gordon Wallace will be there as well, scored Liverpool's first ever goal in the European Cup, played in the first ever match of the day. So it's going to be a wonderful night. They've got film of the final, music that was played at the time. The food is the same type of food that was served at the Grosvenor House Hotel in the reception after the final that we were at. So the whole thing is going to be a special night. It's at Red's Bar, Red's, E-R-E-D-S, in East Exchange Street East, just opposite Moorfield Station.
Yeah, just right next to...
you come by train, yeah.
Exchange flags.
If anybody wants any more information, they can DM me or you can let Frank know and he'll let me know, and I'll make sure people get... I'm happy to get tickets.
I'll have Jason to put us up, put the thing up.
Yeah, so it's a fortnight tonight, 1st of May. It's the exact same day as the final was in 1965. What a night it's going to be.
Well, I hope I can make it, because...
I hope so, Frank. We'll see what we can do. I mean, I'm going to be going over by train, so unfortunately I won't be driving. Otherwise, I would have picked you up.
No, I just got a cab down.
Yeah, get a cab down. If you just come for it as long as you want or as little as you want. A lot of people you'll know will be there, and the guy from Redman TV, Dan Crabb's coming. Paul Moran, Ronnie Moran's son, is coming. Ian St. John's brother, they'll all be there. A few drinks and some memories.
And you know what? And it's only 20 quid with a meal.
20 quid for the tickets with the meal, yeah. Food.
20 quid?
Yeah. It's all for charity, by the way. All of it's going to local charities. Yeah. Everything, every penny.
Yeah.
And there'll be an auction with photographs and paintings and all sorts.
That's brilliant, though.
Yeah,
absolutely brilliant.
All credit to John Pearman who's organised it.
Yeah. And the Anfield, Frankie and George, I'm off to the Leicester game. I haven't forgot their crowd singing unpolite song about us. I haven't forgot, so I hope we bury them. God, they are going down. God, they are going down.
They're going down all right, that's for sure.
And Callum says, this is his little team. Allison, Bradley, Canate, the Veg, Semikas, he picked. Gakpo, Diaz, Salah, and in midfield, Jones, Maka, Gravenberch.
Yeah. He'd leave McAllister out then.
Yeah. No, he's got Maka in.
Put him in.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he's put him in. Look. Jones, Maka.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, Maka. Sorry.
Gravenberch.
Sorry, Callum. Need glasses. Specsavers.
I'm glad I haven't worn me reading much. Even that, like, I can't get me one of me caps.
Benny Hill. I'm moving like Sergeant Bilko.
That was one of the best shows I've ever
Yeah, a lot of
seen.
the lads won't know who we're talking about. That was an amazing show.
Oh,
He was a
what
fabulous actor, wasn't he? Phil Silvers. Phil
yeah.
Silvers.
And do you know what? He used to just shout at them, and there was
Yeah.
no words coming out of you. There was no like defining words. It was
But he was on the screen all the time, wasn't he? He was never off
Every
the screen.
time.
What a performance every episode. You know, the words you had to remember. It's
Do you
unbelievable.
remember the Colonel and the Colonel Hall?
Good old Hall, yeah.
And
Yeah,
he used to have his wife, when he used to go to see the Colonel, and if his wife sitting there, he'd go in and go like that, and he'd just look over at Mrs. Hall and goes, "Who's this young woman sitting here?"
he was like the original con man, wasn't he? The original con man. He always found an angle. There's always an angle.
Oh, he's fancy. Then he'd ask the question about whatever he wanted. Fantastic.
Yeah, she should again now, shouldn't
Yeah, they should.
she?
Funny. So funny. The Anfield, my team: Allison, Bradley, Ibu, Verge, Robbo, Gravenberch, Jones, Maka, Mo, Diaz, Szoboszlai. Yeah.
Interesting. Szoboszlai up front.
Yeah, he's on the left wing, more or less.
He plays there for Hungary, doesn't he? I believe.
That's a crack in their team,
Yeah,
that, isn't it?
team that, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
But have you noticed
Quality.
we're all picking Jones?
Yeah, you got to play him at the moment. I think so, anyway. He's just 100%.
I think he's proved himself.
Yeah.
And as Dino said before,
In England as well.
And he can hold on to the ball and just get someone moving. Brilliant. Elmo, Salah, Diaz, Chiesa, Gakpo. 4 up front. It's only Leicester. There you go.
4-3-3 the other way round.
Chiesa, Gakpo. What do you think of Gapco's form, though, George?
Well, he was out injured for a long time, to be fair, and it does take a while to come back. You know, before he was injured, he was in a hot streak, wasn't he? He scored about 10 goals.
And that's the shame.
Yeah.
That's the shame. Because he was in a hot streak and he was scoring some sort of...
Keeping Diaz out of the team, wasn't he? He was keeping Diaz out of the team.
He was keeping them out.
Scoring some great goals. I like Gakpo. I think he'll cause some trouble to Leicester if he's playing.
Isn't that Paul Owie? The team will be similar to most of the season, and players like Chiesa, Elliott, and Nunes will be on the bench.
Yeah, they will.
But that's more what the team will be like. What Paul's just said.
Yeah, it will be. Same as usual.
You know, because we'd like to see as
Bad thing.
As Elmo says there. As Elmo says, you know, Salah, Diaz, Chiesa, Gakpo, you know, let's put them 4 up front. And the Anfield Road with his team, you know, Allison, Bradley, Ibu, Verge, Robbo, Gravenberch, Jones, Maka, Mo, Diaz, Szoboszlai. Now, you know, that particular team, but for that particular team to play, he has to make a change. If you know what I mean. And that's where Szoboszlai comes in.
Yeah, he'd be in place.
You know, rather than having just like Mo, Diaz, and Gapco on the left.
If you played that team, you'd still have Jota to come in, or Gakpo to come in, or Nunes to come in. So you still have three guys on the bench who are quite useful to come on up front.
Yeah, I think he's great comments, great team selections. And the King, same as Man City game, bro. I agree. Should have played that team against PSG and Newcastle as well.
Yeah, it looks a good team, that. Yeah. Yeah.
And the Anfield, we needed those. He's mentioning he's talking to the King here. We needed those legs in the team. 90% of the game is running now. So I'm glad you agree.
Yeah, he's right. It is about running.
And Anfield says, George, I want to go to that.
Well, you can get in touch. We can get in touch with me on, if you're on Facebook, go on Messenger and message me. Or let Frank know and he'll tell me, he'll give me some details where I can get in touch with you. I'll get you a ticket organised.
And the Anfield says, great cause and great events. Well done to who organised that.
I mean, even if you haven't got a ticket, if you come to the door and just pay your 20 quid, you'll probably be all right. It's always into the charity box.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That night does sound good, says Edward. It's going to be great. It's
going to be amazing. One of the best nights for a long time.
It's going to be great, Edward. And there's the IBRs. Allison, Quansah, Konate, Van Dijk, Robbo, Endo, Jones, Elliott, Gakpo, Jota, Salah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Bradley will play right back, I think. Other than that, it's not a bad team.
It just shows you, doesn't it? How, some of our fans think about the likes of Endo, who doesn't get mentioned.
He never let us down. He's never let us down, Endo. I like Endo. He's another one that does better coming off the bench.
Yeah. Yeah. Callum says, it looks like Joe Gomez will leave Liverpool without a goal.
Might get a penalty in the last few games. He might give him it.
Yeah, I missed that. And still not score. The Anfield. Jones' control in midfield is outstanding. He rarely gives it away and is finally moving the ball on quicker. And to be frank, Dom against Fulham gives the ball away a lot.
It wasn't the only one, was it? It wasn't the only one.
Yeah. But right.
Here's a question, Frank. Here's a question. Do you think, I'll let your opinion on this, do you think Trent will play another game for us?
Are you asking me or the lads on there?
Oh, the lads, yeah. It'd be interesting to see what you think.
Boys. What do you think George is saying there? Do you think Trent will get a game before the end of the season?
Or will he stay injured?
I think he's fit now, isn't he? Apparently.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he goes back in.
Paul Owie, the first half of the season, Gapco, Gravenberch and John were all flying, but it seems to have hit a brick wall. It has, and when we look at the defence, now you've only got to look at Virgil. Never made a mistake, and all of a sudden he's making mistakes.
Yeah.
He's even letting the ball, when the ball comes to him, a pass, I'm talking about a pass. He seems to let it go under his foot.
Right, so completely missed the kick at Fulham, didn't he? Completely missed the kick. Yeah. His second goal went in.
Yeah.
Well, on the other hand, he scored a glorious equaliser, a glorious winner. Who else could have done that but the big Verge?
Do you think that it's
header, bang?
Do you think, George? Do you think it's concentration with him?
Yeah.
Go on.
you never know whether that contract thing, because it was coming up to the boil, it was getting to the stage when he was really into the negotiations, obviously.
Yeah.
You must get distracted a bit, I think. I don't care what they say. You must get a bit distracted about it, because your whole future's at stake, whether you're going to leave Liverpool, stay, your family, what's coming up, the fans, how they're going to feel, And you can see when he scored that goal, the relief, and he pumping his chest, the badge,
Oh, it was incredible.
you could see that he made his mind up. That was it, But no, you're right. He had a little bit of a lean. But then again, you can't blame. Every player has the odd. I mean, the way he's been amazing for us. He's been incredible, Van Dijk. Really, probably
Well,
the
even
best.
one of the lads said, didn't he, George, about the distraction, the contract saga.
You
It's been a lot of distraction.
you can see with Salah. Look how free Salah played in the first half against West Ham. He was like a different player. Smile on his face, beating the fullback every time he went near him, laid a perfect goal on. And the last 3 weeks before that, he was struggling a bit. It obviously had an effect. To me, anyway.
No, I think it's I think you're spot on, because it is a distraction.
Yeah.
And this is why it should have been sorted out months ago. Not
Yeah.
now.
Hopefully they can play with a bit more freedom now.
Yeah. The Anfield Road, Callum. You have to be on the pitch to score. What a waste of talent, but body made of glass. I think he's talking about Chiesa.
Yeah, maybe Jota.
No, he nearly scored against Villa last season as well. I don't know who he's talking about.
No.
And the Anfield Road, Callum, he did. I still can't believe he hasn't scored. It's the same with Verge.
Must be Gomez, Frank.
Gomez, yeah.
Yeah.
And Ebo got to score more as well. And the Anfield Road. Thanks, George. I will message you. Cheers, lad. That's
Good
about
lad.
the
Excellent.
Not lovely. Oh, yeah, there's Brian back. At least, Brian, who's your team? You'll be able to give us your team.
I'm sorry. I had a little trouble with
welcome back,
George. Right? Hi, hello. Yeah, had a little lost connection for a bit. Got it restored. So
yeah.
I know. Yeah, third world USA. Yeah, so my team for you're asking about the team for Saturday or sorry Sunday.
So,
Leicester, yeah.
Okay.
We've given ours.
Let's see. I would go with. Okay, so what? Konate is okay to play? Is he? He's not. Okay.
No, they're all fit.
No, they're all. Oh, good. Okay, all right. Let's say throw a curveball. I'd go with the same lineup against. That they used against West Ham, except put Chiesa up front.
There you go.
Who in place of?
In place of Jota.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's the same team, but with Chiesa instead of Jota.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. Pretty good. That you got to give the lad a chance.
Yeah.
Jota.
What's the word? I mean, between what looks like. I don't want to back into the league, but you have Arsenal playing Palace, and you have them playing this week too, Wednesday. So something's going to happen. They're not going to walk away with 6 points on that one. They're going to draw or they're going to lose one. So might as well let's see the rest of the squad can do. Who are essentially playing for their position next year. Who stays, who goes.
They'll give 100% money. He'll give 100%. He'll want to prove something.
Right.
Yeah. Well, there's something that might surprise you, boys. Van Dijk has scored the most Premier goals as a centre-back.
Whatever in the Premier League.
Nice.
Wow.
That's incredible, that.
It is.
And Callum's a little statistician, isn't he? So he knows all the stats.
Ask him how many were headers.
Some players have tripped me bit heads.
Yeah.
No one will know. You know, some of them on there won't know what a tripped me bit is, if you know what I mean. You know,
Mhm.
that's why I always say, you know, when these headers, some of them, I seen Matip once, and he was about 4 yards out the ball. It was a free header, and he put us over the bar. Oh no, he put us over that way. You know, well, I said he's got a trip me bit head in. And someone said, "What's a trip me bit?" I said, I couldn't be bothered explaining. I said, "Go home and ask your dad." A trip me bit.
So they just glaze over and smile. Yeah, that's fine.
And Edward says, I don't think he'll start talking about Chiesa. He might come on. He might come on.
Oh, a side note, and I'm not going to hijack this, but something George talked about, you know, about how many points ahead, and talked about the gap. Well, it's really a chasm or a valley between us and United. Had we stopped playing football in January, we'd still be 7 points up on them today.
Yeah. It's incredible, isn't it?
Isn't that great? I love it.
Incredible. Who'd have believed that at the start of the season?
We asked before, Brian, I don't know whether you were listening in, do you think Trent will play a game before the end of the season?
Yes.
Okay.
He should.
And the Anfield Raw says, Frankie and George and me, and Frank, said he wouldn't play a game for the club.
No, you let him play.
See, there's too. I'm not being funny though, Brian, but there's too much hatred. Honestly, there is too much hatred shown at Trent at the moment. There really is. You know, they call him a traitor and everything, and saying,
yeah, traitor, snake, all this stuff. Like, why? I mean, in fact, the sad part was even on the 15th, you know, which is, well, I'm just going to call it Hillsborough Day. It's not, I know it's not the real title, but even that day, Hillsborough, we honored the 97, or, you know, and honored justice of 97. There are people still slating him on that day, slating Trent, calling him snake, and hope he goes, and hope. It's like, wait, isn't that antithetical to the day, to what we're doing here? We're, you know, without him, I mean, let's face it, I mean, without him, we wouldn't have, would we have all the cups we won in the last 7-8 years?
Yeah.
So
the thing is, if you look at the corner he had taken, and you know, against Barca for the winning goal, we wouldn't have gone on and won the European Cup that season.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with you're saying there, because you know he's been a fantastic servant to Liverpool. In many years he's been at the club, and what he's done for the club is brilliant. I would never, you know, I'd completely go against all these guys that are writing that nonsense on social media. But, you know, part of me thinks, and I used to say this sort of thing, I used to say quite a lot, if you don't want to be at Liverpool, on you go. Get out, go. Because, you know, if you don't want to be here, just go. Because Liverpool will still be here long after you've gone.
Right.
And it just applies to every player at Anfield, no matter who they are. Liverpool will still be kings of the road, whoever's there. We've had it all, Frank. Dalglish came in place of Keegan. Bob came in place of Shankly. It goes on and on. It will never stop. Long after we're gone, they'll still be winning trophies, whoever's playing.
But I don't think it's so much of the way he's going. He's not being transferred, and he's going on a free.
Yeah, that's
he's
the big
let
thing.
His contract run down. He's deliberately let his contract run down, and this is the way fans see it. Because, as I've said before, you know, we made him what he is. We made him what he is. And, you know, you see him as one of the greatest passers of a ball. He was being brilliant against Newcastle in the final with that big pitch, spreading the ball all over the place, especially football. You know, and this is the way everybody, in my opinion, looks at it. they just look at it like that and go, well, hang on a minute, we made you. And you ran your contract down to go to Real, of all teams. Because Real, we look at Real as though we look at Manchester United.
Yeah,
Right.
What happened to Salah? What they did to Salah in that final?
Yeah.
Sent him off.
Oh, absolutely. That was okay. I won't say it on your show, but yeah, that was just dirty. No, I agree. I'm not sitting here defending him, but if he ran the contract down, he wants to go. Okay, fine, whatever. But still won't negate. So yeah, we made him, and I still remember that Manchester United game when he was back there, and then they dropped Lallana back to cover him up. We made him, but he also helped restore us. So to a rightful to our perch.
He didn't try, did he?
Yeah, true. But so I wish it didn't end this way. But you know what? Hey, it was a good run, and if he wants to play, let him play, and let him walk out the front door. So that's just my opinion. That's all.
He's helped to make the club a lot of money, hasn't he? Winning a European Cup and championships and all the rest. So
absolutely,
he's done his bit for Liverpool. So good luck to him.
Yeah, and the same thing. He made a lot of money, but also he gave us that hometown discount. So I mean,
he's a multi-millionaire anyway. So
yeah. That's why I don't understand it, Frank. Why anybody would want to leave Liverpool Football Club in their prime? I don't understand it. What's the appeal? He's only going to win the Spanish league. There's only a few teams ever win it.
But someone quoted today, I forget what they quoted it on, and said, "I'm just a lad from Liverpool." You know what he says, it's on the moral there.
That's on the wall. That's on the mural.
Exactly. Yeah. And he said, "And you're just a lad." He said, "No, you're not just a lad from Liverpool. You're a snake from Liverpool." And this is
wow.
If he plays, you're going to get Anfield split.
Yeah,
I'm telling you now. Because you'll get fans who are going, well, what, pointing and shouting and everything else, but you get other fans, applauding them. If you know what I mean.
It can be toxic, Frank, can't it? I mean, look at Steve Gerrard when there was a chance of him going to Chelsea back in 2005.
Oh, yeah.
He had the gangsters after him.
Yeah. It's just lunacy.
So what's the right thing to do then? What do you do? Okay, George, if you're his teammate, okay, you're in the changing room. What do you say to him, or what do you do?
Well, it's very difficult, isn't it? Really, I mean, I suppose at the moment they're all on the same team. They'll probably just say good luck to you. They'll probably just say, because they're teammates and everything. And it's the same when they go on international duty. They're all talking to each other.
Right.
The guy that plays for Madrid now, I think he's been a big mover in getting Trent over there. I keep forgetting his name, Frank.
Bellingham?
Bellingham, yeah. He's a guy that's been whispering in Trent's ear for 2 years.
Oh, he's been down his ear, okay.
Yeah, and then his brother's an agent, so his brother's going to get a huge cut of the fee.
Yeah.
And it's all money, and it shouldn't be money, because like Frank says, he's a multi-millionaire already at 26.
But, sometimes you just don't want to change the scenery. I mean, he's a Liverpool lad. He's been there. He played for his hometown. And maybe sometimes you just want to go see the four corners of the world. Sometimes you just want to go out and go see what else is out there.
Yeah,
he can come back.
Yeah.
No, but that's where, Brian, you've got to look at it like this. You just said he could come back. They won't want him back.
Won't come back.
They won't
you
want
don't
him
think?
back. It's like Michael Owen.
Okay.
If Michael Owen was still playing today, haven't signed for Manchester United, the fans wouldn't want him back. And as I said, Real Madrid are looked at by the Liverpool fans as Manchester United. So we might as well sign for Man United. This is the way I look at it. And
okay. That's fair. No, I get your point.
Brian, the only one I can remember coming back to Liverpool and being welcomed back was Ian Rush.
Yes, yeah. But he didn't want to go
from Juventus.
That was a pacifying thing when he went to Juve after the Heysel, you know, so that was a pacifying thing. And he was made, and we did welcome him back because we didn't want to share. He never came out and said, I want to go, I want to transfer. He never ever said that, Russell.
No, they transferred him for the money.
Exactly.
Okay.
Not only that, but to pacify the, you know, what has happened with the Juve fans.
But I can't think of anybody else, Frank. I can't think of anybody else that's come back to Liverpool.
No.
Being a star.
I almost said Keegan, but no, Keegan didn't come. No, Keegan came from.
Yeah.
No.
I can't think of
it. He got a big reception, though, Kevin Keegan.
Yeah.
When he come back as another player, Newcastle.
Yeah. But at the Anfield Road says, all right, Brian, you're like Joe Gomez. You've missed half of the pod.
Yeah, I did. I'm sorry.
He's a cracker, Anfield, isn't he? Brilliant.
He's good, yeah.
He's good. Callum says Ipswich versus Arsenal is the game before or after, or so we could be champions on Sunday if Ipswich win.
I can't see any way Ipswich would be Arsenal, but you can hope.
Yeah.
And, hey, blind squirrel finds a nut, you know, every now and then.
You never know in football. It's a funny game, you know. Can you imagine Ipswich won Arsenal 0, and Liverpool's just beat Leicester. But I want him to win at Anfield, Brian. I want him to win at Anfield next week.
I do too.
Against Spurs.
I do too.
Then we can have a guard of honour by Arsenal the following week.
But then again, a guard of honour by Spurs wouldn't hurt either.
Exactly, yeah. We'd have to do it after the game when they would be going off.
Right.
The guard of honour heading for the dressing room.
But you made him happy over there in Seattle.
Be pandemonium in Anfield if we beat Spurs to win the league. Bloody hell. Pandemonium.
Yeah, flies the locust, river turns the blood. Yeah, Spurs wins. Yeah.
Well, getting back to about Trent, the Anfield Road says the reason Trent is being spoken about badly is because he has engineering this move to, as we see it, a poor career move. He is no better than Sterling, who left at least. He is no better than Sterling, who left at least. He brought in some cash.
Yeah.
Well, he helped build the squad too. Sterling, the £51 million. That was a nice bit of business.
Yes,
it was a nice bit of business.
That helped build. Yeah, helped Klopp a lot.
Yeah, it did.
And as Edward says, he's overrated Bellingham. He's overrated. That's what he says. Paul Owie. Trent has been a big part of our success, and if he wants to leave, then that's his choice. But the silence and running his contract down so he can line his pockets doesn't sit well with me. That's a great comment. Don't play him. He's caused all this, says the king.
See, this is the sort of comments you're going to get.
Okay.
And look, Edwards, Fowler came back too, but he didn't force it.
Oh, yeah. He did.
Okay, yeah.
He did. And
where did he go? He went to Leeds. He went to Leeds United, isn't he?
Yeah.
Leeds, then Blackburn, then where else? Much places.
Yeah. He went back for long.
Listen, lads. It's time for our cocoa, Joe.
Time for my cocoa, yeah. I can hear the whistles of the kettle next door. The door will be opening and somebody's head will peep in. That's right,
Frank, your kettle.
The cocoa's ready. Yeah. But anyway, it's a big thank you to George. Yeah, it's a massive thank you to our friends over there, Joe Gomez. I mean, what's his name?
Joe Gomez. Well, it's better than Uncle Phil, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Better than Trent at the moment. So listen, lads, I'll see you on Tuesday.
Yeah, see you Tuesday, Frank.
Okay.
Along with Dino.
Yeah, lovely to see Dino again. He's a great lad.
Okay.
Right, getting off then,
Oh.
Brian. Lovely to see you, Brian. Well, to talk to you. I can't see you, but to talk to you.
Yes,
lovely
likewise. Well, I'm waving. Yes, nice to see you.
Okay, Frank, hope all's well. Keep healthy, keep fit. Up the Reds.
Cheers,
Bye,
mate.
boys.
Yes.
Good night.
Up the Reds. Ciao. Thank you.
Right, George. He's a lovely man, isn't he?
Yes.
George.
George is great.
Yeah, of course. So, can you make it on there Tuesday?
Yes, Tuesday, and yes, I'll put video on. Yes, I'll clean up the space and I'll get all prim and proper. So yes, I will be there Tuesday.
Great. So we'll see you on Tuesday with George and Zeno.
Okay.
Okay, and I just want to thank Gap Painting Services for sponsoring the Frank Carlyle show, which is great because they've really helped to sponsor the show, and because we do have to pay for it as well. And Gap Painting Services, they're fully time served, they're fully insured. If you work for the NHS or if you're an elderly person, get them in because you get a special discount. And that's the wonderful Gap Painting Services, the sponsors of the Frank Carlyle show. And please get them in. Don't struggle. Please don't struggle. And if you're ever going to the game again, just go and see these lads, Michelle and Michael. They're great people. They really are. And get some stuff, Liverpool stuff. They've got the best at top quality, all at reasonable prices as well. So if you go in the game, the next home game against Spurs, they open up for 2 hours. So go and get your stuff. And get your stuff to cheer on the lads when Arsenal are actually lining up to give us a guard of honour when we've won the league. So go to a scarf or a badge with Michael and Michelle Dean. And that's it. Just got to thank Jason for putting the show on for us, because I'm absolutely useless, as you all know. And Brian, thank you. George, thank you. But most importantly, it's the lads on there, all you chatters. Thank you so much for joining us and keeping us all company tonight. And your wonderful comments. Thank you so much. And I'll see you all on Watch Along. But don't forget, tomorrow night, is it tomorrow night? I don't know what bloody night we're on. On Friday night, I've got the current affairs programme, which everything goes, from President of the United States to the Prime Minister here to Macron to Mr. Putin and Zelensky, Iran, North Korea, everything goes. And there are some frightening things that is going on in the world today. So try and join me. Try and join me, please. Thank you. Yes, the Anfield Road. Tomorrow night is conspiracies. Yeah, I'll be having I don't know when it is, but I'm having a ufologist on. And this fella is absolutely amazing. You want to see the photographs he's got? I don't know where he gets them from, but there's something on Mars, and it's incredible. It's like are you still there with me, Brian? No, Brian's gone. And what it is,
I'm here. Yes.
Oh, you're there. I've got this ufologist. I don't know when he's coming on. He's coming on very soon. And what it is, Brian, he's actually got a photograph of Mars. I don't know how he's got it or whatever. I don't know. And it's been, shall we say, hidden. I'll just say hidden, the way they cover things up and whatever. And the crop circles that we've found, around in America here and everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
well, they're similar in the, excuse me, they're similar in the dust on Mars, and he's got a picture of it. So, you know, it's things like that this fella, incredible what he's got.
Yeah, I'd love to see those, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll have him on. Well, obviously, I'll let you know when he's coming on, Brian.
Okay.
And maybe you can join me, if you know what I mean. And
Sure, yeah, schedule permitting. Sure, I'd love to, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that's what it is. And I'll see you all, hopefully, on Friday. And join with me.
Just no Katy Perry, please. Yeah, okay.
Thanks a lot, Brian. See you soon, mate.
Okay, ciao. Thank you.
Take care. Ciao. Shiva di amo. Adaman.